Welcome back to the main events of Italian diplomatic activity abroad. Late on Thursday evening, May 21st, the Italian activists of the Global Summit Flotilla returned to Italy, landing at Rome Fiumicino and Milan Malpensa airports. The activists had been arrested in international waters by Israeli armed force and transferred to Israel, where before being expelled to Turkey, they were reportedly detained and subjected to physical and psychological violence and abuse, together with activists of other nationalities. Evidence of the abuses was allegedly shown in videos posted on social media by Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Following the strong condemnation expressed by President Sergio Mattarella, as well as a joint statement issued by Palazzo Chigi and the Italian Foreign Ministry, the Italian government will request European sanctions against Ben-Gvir. Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani confirmed the move. On May 20th, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid an official visit to Rome, where he was received at Quirinale Palace by President Sergio Mattarella, and later met Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni at Villa Pamphili. Italy and India are now closer than ever before. Meloni stated during the joint declaration following the meeting, adding that bilateral relations are now in a position to fully express their potential at the highest level. In the framework of the strengthening of the strategic partnership between the two countries, 7 bilateral agreements were signed in the presence of the two leaders, covering defense, critical minerals, agriculture, maritime transport, culture, and healthcare mobility. On May 21st and 22nd, Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani traveled to Helsingborg, Sweden, to attend the NATO foreign ministers' meeting ahead of the Alliance Summit scheduled for July in Ankara. Tajani reiterated Italy's firm support to Kyiv and stressed the importance of full international convergence in order to achieve a just peace with solid security guarantees for Ukraine. Regarding the Middle East crisis, the Italian Foreign Minister underlined the strategic role of NATO's southern flank in ensuring Euro-Atlantic stability. Andy Diaz, Gregorio Paltrinieri, Vincenzo Nibali, and the Italian Sport Medicine Federation have been named the new ambassadors of sports diplomacy. The announcement was made by Foreign Minister Tajani during the launch event at the 3rd edition of the project Sport and Innovation Made in Italy. The sports sector involved 32 billion euros, nearly 1% of Italy's GDP, Tajani recalled during his speech, emphasizing that the initiative aims to promote worldwide the excellence of Italy's sport industry. Between 2024 and 2025, more than 300 Italian diplomatic and consular offices organized nearly 500 sports diplomacy initiatives to promote the Sistema Italia abroad. Undersecretary of Foreign Affairs Massimo Dell'Utri chaired at Farnesina a meeting of the MAECI Civil Society Task Force on Italy's action in support of a universal moratorium on the death penalty. Representatives from the organization Nessuno Tocchi Caino, the community of Sant'Egidio, and the Amnesty International Italy took part in the meeting. The gathering comes ahead of negotiation on the United Nations General Assembly resolution for a universal moratorium on capital punishment scheduled for next autumn in New York. Undersecretary of Foreign Affairs Maria Tripodi received Qatar's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Mohammed bin Abdulaziz Al Khulaifi at Farnesina. Tripodi expressed appreciation for Qatar's role in fostering dialogue in the Middle East, reiterating the importance of keeping diplomatic channels open and supporting long-term negotiation processes, with particular attention to the situation in Gaza and tensions in the Gulf region. Significant attention was also devoted to strengthening bilateral economic relations. Italy's ambassador to Budapest, Giuseppe Scognamiglio, took part in the closing session of the Transport Research Arena during the official handover ceremony between Budapest and Milan, which will host the next edition of the biennial event. The ambassador reaffirmed the Italian government's full support for TRA 2028, which will take place at the Polytechnic University of Milan from June 5 to 8 during Italy's presidency of the European Union. More than 20 Italian companies from the transport sector participated in the event. On June 16, the event Export Goal, Businesses and Territories of Southern Italy Towards the National Export Conference 2026, will take place at the Levante Fair Congress Center in Bari. It represents the second stage in a series of regional meetings aimed at strengthening dialogue with Italy's productive sectors and promoting the internationalization of Italian companies. This edition will focus on the regions of Puglia, Basilicata, Calabria, Campania, Molise and Sicily. Participation is free of charge upon registration by June 13 through the dedicated platform eventisistemapaese.esteri.it. And that's all for now. Thanks for your listening and stay tuned.